so long as you have mana, which you have arcane boots. You buy a clarity or two as needed. If you want to get real sweaty, you can do like some backpack efficiency stuff where you drop this, use the arcane boots, pick it up. For casual play, you probably don't need to do that, but you know, if you want to get real sweaty and try hard, there you go. But that way, we kind of like wander in a circle for a little bit here. But that way you would have picked up maybe like 100 gold from doing that hard camp. You did do this, you checked this cliff, so it's not like you did nothing. Maybe this camp, right? So we come here, they thought there was a ward, I do my support duties, I got nothing else to do. Zap! Whack, whack, whack. Farm it. You do have to be careful a little bit about stealing farm, but I also think for this bracket, you don't have to worry about it too much. So, okay, here's a good situation of support pushing the lane. No one's in this bottom lane. It'd be great to get this tier 1 tower. Your ultimate's almost up. Maybe you don't even need to ult it. We'll see. Here is how you safely push as a support, and especially as Shadow Shaman. So this is why if you have Ether Shock maxed out, it'll be easier for you in these type of situations. But if you, depending how much information you have on the map, if you walk up, you sit in the creep wave, you hit everything, you'll get the most farm, but you're at the most risk because they see you. If you know they're not here, then go ahead and do that. Maximize the farm. If you're a little scared, really, we just need to get this lane shoving as quickly as we can, which you already have more creeps than they do, so it is pushing on its own, but we can help it along with a quick Ether Shock, a couple auto attacks. So walk in here. I pick the most valuable creep. It's usually the range creep, but sometimes there are banner creeps and they're actually worth more. You know, like focus it down with your spells and your auto attacks if you can, and then get out. You don't have to get every single CS. You just need the lane to be pushing. And as I do this, this is where you got to build the habit. I walk up here, and as I'm walking, I'm watching this mini-map, and I'm like, okay, Invoker, PA, and Slardar. I'm scared of getting pudge hooked, and in this case, Spectre actually makes split pushing really hard. Let's pretend Spectre's not in this game. She's actually in a lot of games right now, but let's say it's one of those games Spectre's banned out or something, so you can actually split push as a support. So you would walk up, looking at that, okay, I'm here, I'm gonna A-click this creep, still watching my mini-map, press Q, glance between, right, A-click this creep. He's not dodging my auto attacks, right? So I don't need to like keep my eye on him the whole time. I'm scared. All the heroes just missed, are off the map. Are they all teleporting down here to kill me? Maybe, probably not all of them, but I'm also just a support. It doesn't need to be all of them. It can just be a couple. So here's where I'm kind of scared. You know, maybe I'm finishing this range creep and running. And it feels a little bad because like I wanted that banner creep, I wanted that range creep. That's why we try to focus it first when we walk up. And that way, if we walk away, it's hopefully the less valuable creeps that are left alive. But you don't always get to choose when they appear and disappear on the map. So this is where we run. The mistake a lot of people will make is they run straight back in the lane to get out, or they'll even like run back behind a tree, TP out. What if they aren't coming? What if they're still just mid, waiting for this next creep wave, and they're top waiting for the next creep wave, and the others are jungling? And now you're back in your fountain, or you're back here, and you go, oh shit, I can actually push again. I gotta walk all the way back. Too much downtime. All you're gonna need to do, run and hide in a tree. Depending how scared you feel, run further and further into the tree. But waiting back here is much closer than waiting in the fountain. And while you wait here, you just watch the minimap. So let's play forward a little bit. Let's see what happens. So this is where things are scary. Spectre ult could be coming. Pudge hook could be coming. These denies, don't worry about them. Denies are really good to do in the laning stage. No one is actually here potentially on the enemy team. So even if these creeps die, it's not a big deal. Also, if you're pushing into the tower to potentially take the tower, you want as many creeps as you can possibly have to achieve one of two things. One, you take the tower, either with just the creeps or with your ultimate tanked for by the creeps. Or two, you bait the enemy team to come in, because this is the next part about playing support, pushing in lanes. The core see 50 creeps walking in, they're like, I gotta go. I cannot resist the creeps. And so they TP in. And this has now forced a movement over here. They can't move anywhere else because they TP'd here. So you could potentially TP top and go start a big fight top, and it'll be like a 5-on-4 because whoever came here can't show up. Ignoring heroes like Spectre who could come and then show up with it all, whatever. So walking with the creep here is actually pretty dangerous when you're doing the split pushing stuff. After you get all the CS you can, or can't, you just have to go hide, just go run in the trees, or at least be further back. so that if a hero is coming in, the creeps will see them first, and you won't see the other hero. They won't know you're still here or not. So yeah, now you're starting to hide. Maybe you're looking to jungle. That would be generally okay. But if the enemy team is going to kill you, odds are it's coming in from this way. So that's why I'm a little scared to go in here. Again, it just depends on the map awareness you've been tracking. If you know the heroes aren't here, then this is fine. In this case, you're going to get a D-ward. This is where I am a little scared versus a hero like Spectre, who might just show up and kill me. But you see, so proper supporting what you're doing is fine. You push the lane, you left. Herald supporting, we kind of want a little bit more for ourselves. So you did this, and you're maybe going to go join your team. The path you're taking is actually a little risky that you might run into hero. So it would actually be better to like do the D-ward, go twin gate, whatever. This is the situation where if you die, it's kind of an acceptable support death because like sometimes you have to take the risks on the warding. But once the warding or de-warding is done, further walking in here is kind of scary. But if we're trying to get more, this is why we don't leave and we stay around here. And I'm looking at this map and I'm like, Slardar's still here. Invoker's here. Kind of scared of the others, so maybe I'm not going to show. So I'm just like waiting in this tree line. And I'm at least getting XP. If you don't know, by the way, you can hover this XP. There's also another setting that's hidden. Dota Labs up here. Scroll down. Miscellaneous. Persistent range indicators. If you want to alt, right-click this, it will pop up a permanent range indicator on the XP. That's how close you can stand to the creeps to get XP. And that's why I can be in this tree line completely out of sight, but still getting XP, which will help me get higher level ultimates, higher level abilities to do more with in the game. And if I feel safe enough, I can walk out and actually get the gold. But if I'm scared, I'll just stay in the trees. But this way, let's say I was in the tree line and suddenly 4 heroes show up to kill these guys. If you think you can make a difference, you can TP in. If you think it's too late to make a difference, now, if I had ran home, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get all the way over here. From where you are, oh shit, I gotta get all the way over here. They might finish the kill and then TP over. But if you're waiting in the trees, pop, zap, walk, ult. Like instantly, this fight is still going on and their tower's being killed by serpent wards. And that's kind of how you rat the map as Shadow Shaman. So as we go, you're coming to defend mid. I actually forgot this wasn't a mid invoker for a moment. So actually maybe you can defend versus invoker. If it was a mid hero, they'll probably just kill you. And that's why I'd rather go somewhere they hopefully aren't. And you will do a very similar amount of damage. Because in the early game, the creeps actually do the most damage to towers compared to like the heroes, with some exceptions. But also by walking here, you see like all these creeps already died, so we kind of didn't get anything out of it. Whereas if you stayed here, you would have. If you want to defend, I would say TP in rather than walk over. Oh, you don't have one right now, so I guess that's why you walked. But in that case, you know, I'd hope a teammate could go and you can stay here. Because now look at this, right? It turns out they are all up here and no one on your team is bottom. That's why this is where it's kind of counterintuitive. Because the high level play, the support maybe shouldn't be doing that and someone else should be doing it. It's just the reality of lower ranked games. Like you just have to do it. This is how you support your way out, is you kind of do some non-support things. And you'd be down here and hopefully the couple heroes you had mid, hopefully one of them would come mid. And now they're protecting mid while you're taking this tower, which is punishing them for having this many heroes up here, potentially getting a kill on Jug and Darkseer. Maybe you'll get this invoker kill. Nowadays, it's not so bad to use your ultimate to get kills, so I don't mind too much. That was a support invoker, so it feels a little worse. If it's a core hero, that feels better. This kind of D-ward is really risky, by the way. Notice on your minimap, we don't see anyone. Turns out there is an observer here. But if you think there's an observer, which is why you're coming to check it, right? Well, you just have to pretend there is an observer there. Do I feel comfortable going? And we are usually position 5. Even if you are getting more farm than usual, you're probably not that strong compared to the cores. So as you walk under their observer, they will see you and they will decide, should we kill that Shadow Shaman? Especially if someone is in here and we don't know because we don't have vision here. So once you are around here and you start showing and they see you walking to the cliff, they know it's like, hey, he's about to check that cliff. Pudge is like, get over there, throw the hook and then pull you in and kill you. And you're at a big disadvantage. You got no idea whether they can see you or not. So when you're dewarding the enemy's half of the map, especially, this is where you kind of want to wait to see stuff. So for example, you stick around here, defending mid, maybe do a little jungling. We see that fight happen here. 4 heroes show up here. That's the cue. I can't get here to help. I'm going to bolt over here. And if I want to check here, I'll check it. If I want to place a deep ward, maybe I'll like run in and place it here. When I don't see anything on the map, I don't know who's here. And it turns out, yeah, look, PA and Pudge are here. But if I know 4 heroes are top, and maybe I have an observer that spots like the last one here, or maybe I see 4 heroes, but the last hero that's not showing is someone I'm not that scared of. It's like a support Crystal Maiden that I know I can get away from. Then I'm willing to take my bets to come in here. This kind of stuff, hit or miss on whether you get punished in Herald, but as you get higher, this will be punished more and more. So it's good to cut this out of your habits now. This is a dangerous thing to do. Wait till you see more information to do it. This is where a lot of support deaths come in from support players who feel like, I have to ward, I have to deward. It's true, but we want to pick the best time to reduce our odds of dying. Like so. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is a classic. I can't tell you how many times I see this kind of stuff happen. It is one of the most common mistakes for support players. You're not the... Okay, this game you're literally kind of the only support. But in other games, other support players out there, when this happens, whatever instigates it, in this case, it's the support coming for a pretty risky D-ward. Other cases, it's just a gank happening. 3 heroes show up here, right? If I'm the other support and I happen to be top, this is my cue. I was too scared to come in here before. Shadow Shaman's dying. He's making a mistake, but I can capitalize on that mistake and I can run in here. And even if there was an observer that sees me doing it, there's not a hero here because the heroes are killing Shadow Shaman. And now I have time to drop the sentry, check, come to the next one, check this one, find whatever I do or don't, and then place my deep ward. And that is my best bet of doing it without being killed. And then I get out as Shadow Shaman dies and I watch them scatter on the map. I'm like, oh shit, they're coming over here, right? I better run. But those are the kind of like windows you want to look for. If you're not warding, okay, see this Darkseer who just TP'd out? Who's gonna get this Darkseer? Full health Darkseer, mana missing a little bit. He's got Arcane Boots, Soul Ring, Trusty Shovel. He's like totally fine, right? This many heroes are